All right, here we go. Well, welcome back to another episode of Scrambling Dads Podcast. We've got Marcus on tonight. Alex is unfortunately unable to join us. He's got a wife and sick kiddo at home with COVID, and he's been running around with his head cut off. So we miss you, Alex. Hopefully, everybody gets healthy quickly and you get some rest. I know you've got a crazy week coming up. So, leading that off, how's your family doing?
Well, I'm I'm glad we kind of made it through that freeze unscathed, and I think we're doing good here. We're about to get here to this, I guess, Valentine's Day weekend, so kids are excited about all the candy they're gonna get, and um, yeah, my wife we got real creative here. I don't know when you had your younger or your older when they were young and doing all the Valentine's Day stuff. She went out and got like some little lights and some stretchy little toys. I was like, man, that's different than just kind of giving candy away. So I was a little impressed. I was like, man, these times are changing. Instead of giving candy away.
Yeah, that's actually true to think about it. I mean, all these new knickknacks, of course, social media and all these different things come out with like all these new creative ideas, especially since they're like trying to avoid the whole candy, like don't give them sugar and all that.
Right.
But now my older two, it was all about like the little sweetheart sugar candies that says "I love you" or "Be mine" and all those little silly things. And then, luckily, I guess that phase didn't go too long. Because partly part of it for me was got divorced when they were younger, so I don't know, their mom took care of that stuff, and then me, I was more of like, hey, here's a cute teddy bear, or uh they were getting a little bit older and they were like, oh, can we have like a Starbucks frappuccino or something like that. So that kind of was my route with it all. I mean,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, when you talk about candy, I mean, that's what Halloween's for, right? They always joke about
Yeah.
that's the candy. And then Valentine's is the flowers and the teddy bears. And then the post, the breakup the day after.
Yeah, we've never really celebrated Valentine's Day at our house. I mean, our Valentine's Day it's real chill, real simple. For some reason, we always get Chili's to go, and it's been our thing. Like here the last, I don't know, been like 8, 9 years ever since we've been married, and we say, yeah, we don't celebrate it, but we always get like Chili's to go. We get us a skillet and some stuff, and now the kids kind of join in, but we just kind of been doing that. And I don't know, that's just kind of been our night. I don't know why Chili's of all places. I mean, it's not great, but we're just like, yeah, sure, why not? That sounds amazing right now. And we never have Chili's. Literally the entire year do not have Chili's, but I know on Saturday we're gonna have some Chili's to go.
Hey, we are not sponsored by Chili's in any way,
No,
so we
no.
definitely still buy and purchase them. We've definitely picked them up actually within the last week, ordered Chili's to go.
Did you?
Uh,
Oh.
yeah, just they offer a nice variety of stuff, and it's like, okay, there's something for the miles. And then obviously we can find something that we're always pretty good about consistently getting, and it's one of those things. It's like when you're working, you get home and you're like, I don't want to cook. Just call it in. We'll pick it up on the way home and all right, call it a day.
Yeah, I think that's how it started. It's like, hey, let's not put stress on each other. Let's just, what do we want to do? What's the quickest thing? All right, let's get some Chili's. It's like, all right. And I think it just stuck.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, Shelby's got to do some UIL school stuff that morning. And I think it's supposed to rain, I think off and on that day. So I was gonna take Miles out and just kind of mess around on the golf course, but I think it's gonna be bad, I think, or at least wet enough, and it's like no fun. I did get reservations to just get this place in downtown McKinney that we like, but unfortunately, I haven't told her this yet, but the only table that was slated on reservation was an outdoor patio.
Okay.
And it's only gonna be like mid 60s with some rain. And so I was thinking, I'm not sure how this one's gonna go because we might have to wait longer for an inside table, or hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Some restaurants now are getting better about having like removable like canopies and awnings. So maybe they'll pull something together. I don't know. Fingers crossed.
It'll be a good story either way.
It will be. It's like, hey, you remember that Valentine's Day we got dumped on and we had a screaming child and like we just canceled it, came home and got Chili's.
Uh, no, yeah. No, sorry to derail it a little bit, but that's kind of what's been
No,
going
that's
on here
perfectly
in my
fine.
world.
That's kind of how this stuff has been going. It's just, find something that we can relate to, start talking and just go. All right. Well, just to close that out though, do you and Blake actually give each other something, or is it just little knickknacks here and there? But do you just still give, here's a Valentine something?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. There's some years that we give each other something, but then there's other years where, I mean, honestly, probably our favorite thing to do is, watch a movie together, without the kids or um, honestly play some video games. So my wife's a big Call of Duty. I don't want to put her business out there, but she's pretty good. And it's funny because when she talks like to her, because she teaches middle school, so she'll talk to the kids and she'll be like, yeah, I'm such and such level prestige, and they're like, they don't believe her, and then she starts talking about like the camos that she has on her weapons and this and that, and they're like, okay, way too much for it to be like just a casual gamer. So we do a little bit of that. It's fun. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize how much of a gamer, like, kind of family we are, but, like, you know, Blake has she does that Call of Duty, and then she has this, like, Disney game that she plays, but, like, now the kids will play, like, Nintendo Switch, and so I know you talked about, like, kinda like your vision board, so we did, like, a family bingo board, and my son, he put on there, "I need to beat dad at Mario Party this year." So that's his goal. So usually we have like a family game night and um, we teach character here in this house. So I don't let him win. If he's gonna beat me, he's gonna beat me. So yeah, we've been doing that there for a while.
Okay, that's really funny. Because I mean, I've grown up. I was the video gamer. I am the video gamer in the house, but I don't even play that serious of video games. Um, I always just I always gravitate to the storytelling, the Batman, the Assassin's Creeds. I really love the Assassin's Creed story, so I just kind of get in, play for a little bit, back off, play a little bit, back off. But then, speaking of COVID, when everybody got shut down, I picked it up a little bit because my girls were high school at the time, and they had their other cousins from their other family, and of course they all got on and they're all playing. So I jumped on and I started playing and running around and just like, okay, this is kind of fun. They're still engaging, talking smack to each other, and blasting each other out of the world. But it was kind of funny, kind of sitting back, and then you talked about that building character and all that stuff. We've played, Nintendo Switch. Like Mario Kart is like our thing, and the girls love it. I love it, and we go at it. And I mean, to this point now, they beat me, and it's not like I'm not trying, but it's at the same time, it's just like I've just lost that edge. I don't practice enough, or I just don't care enough, but they don't practice much either, but they still come out and like smoke it. But I told them, I go, you need to pick a different car in person. Let's just see how good you really are.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up. Go be Donkey Kong on the big four wheeler and stop being your motorcycle with Princess Peach or something.
Yeah.
But I make it interesting still. But it's funny though. But they beat me and then they earn it. They got to
Yeah.
win,
You gotta
So
win.
that's where it's at. And it's kind of funny. Um, what's your go to game if you play a lot or on
Yeah.
your own?
Yeah. So like I'm kind of with you on like kind of like that storytelling type of game. I used to be like big into like the Halo, the Assassin's Creed. and we've been watching that Fallout show. So I never played the Fallout games when they like first came out, and so I just kind of went back and started playing a couple. Like, man, these are pretty fun. It's kind of that uh, apocalyptic, life and kind
Mhm.
of trying to survive with all this radiation and building your own stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I kind of gravitate to that and a little bit more sports games, to be honest. Like Mario Golf, that's fun. So I I caught Marcus, like he's like, "Oh, I want to play," my little one. He's like, "I want to play." Um, so we were playing, and um, that game is pretty close to realistic. It was like, you want to talk about course management, and so I was kind of talking it through him. It's like, okay, so if you want to, you know, hit to the pin, you don't want to fly it over. You want to hit it before so the ball can roll towards the pin. And he got it. He was like, okay, okay. So the first couple holes he bogeyed a couple, but then he started birdieing and parring. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to need to step up my game here. Uh, so like on the putts, I was like, man, just back of the cup, like put more power than you want, and make sure it gets there. Don't leave it short. And yeah, he was catching on. So that'll be I'm hoping that mindset kind of translate when we start him up here on lessons here
Mhm.
in a couple weeks. So yeah, that was a close match. He almost got me on that one, but I was able to squeak it out. I was like, picked it up
Oh,
quick.
man. How old is he?
He's 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now speaking of which that you said you got him into golf and what was the other one? No,
So
soccer.
he's doing golf and soccer, and he's
Mhm.
doing swimming lessons as well. So he's got a busy week for a 7-year-old.
That's a lot. So, tell us about that. How did the conversation go, like, soccer versus golf? And did you just say you're doing both, or did he wanna do both? Or you're like, "You're learning this, you're kinda interested, so we'll give you a little taste of it," etcetera?
Yeah, so we did baseball kind of the last 2 seasons, and he was good. He was picking it up. He liked it. Just that baseball schedule, I don't know. Like, when you're in it, I mean, it is like 4 days a week, and that's not even including practice, like games, and so, Blake and I, we grew up playing soccer, and I kinda told her, I was like, "Okay, it was fun kinda trying out the baseball thing, but it's like, if we go with soccer, we can kinda help them a little bit more of, like, kinda at home, something that we're comfortable with, and even, one of us even coaching, so we actually had my daughter in soccer, and so he was out there just kinda watching and play, and then he goes, "Dad, I kinda wanna play soccer." It's like, "That looks pretty fun. I think I could do it." And so, we signed him up for that, and he's been doing these, golf lessons. I don't know if you heard of the First Tee program.
Mhm.
So they do it at the Muni courses, and, over here in Fort Worth at, Rockwood, they built a new center here a couple years ago. It's a real nice facility for kids. I mean, they have like little arcade in there and just kind of a place for the kids to hang out. And, they have, age groups from 5 to 6, 7 to 11, and, 12 to, 16, 17 years old. So he's been doing that, last 2 seasons as well, but it's been a lot more chipping and putting, and so he's excited for this season because he knows that the 7 to 11-year-olds get to go on the range every day. So he's already said, he's like, "Dad," he's like, "once I get it past 100 yards," he's like, "I need some golf shoes." It's like, "I need some new golf shoes," and that's what I was like, "You don't even swing hard enough to need golf shoes." I was like, "Whatever, dude." But he already wants the gear.
Well, that's fantastic,
Yeah.
uh, I I know we touched on it the episode that I think just released today, we touched on kids in sports. I know we talked about it in the past, about, you know, it's like you want them to try a lot of different things because there's probably gonna be something that they really gravitate to naturally, or there's some things that they just get introduced to and they start picking up like, "Ooh, I actually do like this," and actually can figure it out and find myself successful with it. And it's funny because you this day and age, parents are always like, "No, you're gonna do, like we're in
Yeah.
Texas football. You're
Yeah.
doing football. We're forcing you to football," and kids get burnt out. I can't tell you how many players you see just get burnt out, and so you gotta have a special niche for it. And it's just funny because with my girls, it's just I never forced them. They I like kind of like you. I never played soccer. I mean, I just did rec, but then they saw us kind of playing rec when we moved here to Texas, and then uh, we just put them in it because at the time it was the cheapest. Just simple McKinney soccer type stuff or Plano soccer indoor, uh, cleats, shin guards. All right, pay a couple $100 for a uniform kit. Real easy, and I don't want to say soccer is. I mean, all sports are hard, but I guess it is easier
Easy to pick
compared.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, compared to like, oh, try to figure out how to shoot a basketball. Obviously, baseball is difficult to throw the mechanics, and obviously hitting is another story. And then, both you and I know golf is definitely very hard, a skill to develop with the coordination, the balance. But you know, Maddie did soccer for years, played like on some select club teams, nothing like the big traveling, but enough to where it's costing us a lot of money per year. And then she's like, I'm kind of burnt out. And we're like, okay. So she went to volleyball in high school or middle school, then some theater, and then still stayed with soccer through high school. Played a little bit intramurals in college, and then she decided to kind of toodle with golf, like mess around. And her game is picking up more, but when I say more, it's like once every 2 months she plays. But she is more interested in it because it's becoming more the adult thing to do. Play golf. It's easier. It's easier on your body, you know, and you can have a good time with it. And if you go out with the expectations that you know where you're standing at, it's more enjoyable. You're not gonna if you go out and you're a super bad amateur and you're like, I'm gonna try to shoot break 90 and or 80, and it's like you really don't have the skill for it, bottom line. And so that's makes it more difficult, frustrating. And Peyton's kind of like the opposite. She tried soccer, mm, get invited to continue with her team, quit. They started to pick up golf because I played it, and then stopped golf in high school because it was too much of a time commitment. And then she bounced to theater, and now she's an ROTC. So she's kind of been all over the board, but they dabble in all sorts of different things, and it's coming down to like what's Miles going to do. I'm not forcing the golf. Oh, the girls are everybody like, oh, you got your wish, dad. He's playing golf. He's playing golf. Like I didn't ask him. I didn't force it. I just started watching it. I started messing around in the house with putting and stuff. He saw it. He's gravitated to it. If it happens, great. If not, that's fine.
It's funny because yeah, they pick up a lot of your mannerisms, how you act, and they I guess as a child they think, okay, that's how I'm supposed to act. So I guess because I've always had like, a little soccer ball hang around the house, and I would always, me and my wife played soccer, so we would always try to, do drills in the house and trying to like, put the ball between, someone else's legs. And so I guess they would see that. And because now that you mention that, of just kind of you doing that, it's funny that they just kind of pick up on those things. It's like, oh, I need to play this so I can, be a little bit better at that. Or, I don't know, it just kind of seems a little bit easier from that standpoint.
Yeah. And it does get to a point where it's fun now. We're introducing it, but if you want to get better, you've got to put the work in. And that's where there's a lot of fall off because they rather be on their phones or doing other things, just like talking with friends, hanging out. And you've got to put work in. And if that means you hang out with your friends less, you do that. Uh, I know some of my athletes over the years, whether they're the girl soccer players or the golfers, uh, some of them didn't even get into a relationship because they were more committed to the craft and wanted to
Hmm.
prove themselves in the craft and didn't want to be taken away by it. And that's a personal choice, but it also shows when they play.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good to hear at least from y'all of like, the time that you have to commit, right? Because it's like, okay, I could be doing these things, but I need to focus, like pick and choose on what you want to focus on. Like for me, like just kind of making golf enjoyable and being able to, not look like a fool out there and just kind of, hold your own when you like, you know, to me, when I got to the skill of like, if I can show up to a random course and play with any threesome, I feel confident in my game that I'm not gonna embarrass myself and I'm not gonna, I know that I can't take those hero shots, but just a cool level, level headed player. That's kind of fun to be around. And I kind of got to that point. And I guess once I got to that point, it was just kind of like, okay, I could get a little bit better, or I could do these other hobbies. And I think that's where I'm having an internal battle with myself right now.
Yeah, right. Because it's like new set of irons or a new
Yeah.
gun,
Yeah.
and
It's yeah. And I was, I'm still pretty big into fitness and, now it's like, all right, do I want to go hunting early in the morning or do I want to go to the gym and then, you know, use my time that way? So when it's cold in these last couple months, it's like, I'd kind of rather be in a deer blind than go to the gym. It's like I'm gonna pick up a 100-pound deer anyway, so I'm doing my weights for the day anyway.
yeah, no, you're right. You touched on it too. Again, like this is the whole part of what we're talking about is just, you know, Alex is trying to get his game in order and get ramped up and do his mid ams and things or in the next couple of months. I'm just going to sign up for a couple tournaments here soon just more like experience versus like, hey, I'm going to go out and win it. But at the same time, we're both working on swing changes and things like that because we're a little bit more committed right now to make it 26 our, but mostly for me, my big progress year. And yeah, just trying to figure out the time of, well, I got to do this, but I really want to do this. Like I used to, ever since Miles, and I've got sick random times and just trying to figure out, going to the gym. I used to be wake up at 4:15 in the morning, go to the gym before work. I just want to be in bed now. I'm just like, oh, sleep in. I like our routine. I get to see him in the morning. We'll make breakfast and our coffee and all that, and then drop him off at school. And part of me is like in that weird balance of, I'm feeling it more. Like even when I go out into the range, like I'm sore in the good way. Like I've worked out, but it's like get to the point of I need to kind of maybe step it up a little bit more. So that means I'm gonna have to sacrifice my morning with him, maybe a couple days. I know with other places, it's like with IGP, I can go early enough, get back before he wakes up on the weekends. So yeah, it's a delicate balance. And, kids, you guys are lucky. You don't have to worry about all these other responsibilities. You have this chance to work on this skill, this craft that you are good at or have a very strong interest in. And who knows what the possibilities are, but you got to do the work. I
Mhm.
want to do the work. I know you want to do the work. Alex wants to do the work, but we literally just don't have time to balance it all to have our cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun part about life, I guess. I don't know, I guess that's why I kinda see dads trying to live through their sons or whatever, seeing that they could do
Uh,
something. I don't wanna be that dad. Man, I just I think back on, like, because we used to do a lot of tournaments, a lot of soccer, and, like, man, those were, like, the fun times, and my dad's he's very quiet, he doesn't really, you know, uh, you know, is loud at games or anything, and he was kinda more of the type of, it was more if I did something bad, he would kinda say something, but, man, those I remember we would win a couple of those tournaments. I was like, "Man, like, if I saw my son do that, man, I'd go a little nuts here." But, I can only imagine what my dad was feeling, just kind of, and just because he's the timid type, right? Just kind of,
Mhm.
just wants to keep the same demeanor every time. But I'm sure he's felt that proudness of a dad there.
Gosh, yeah, you bring up a good point because early on when the girls started playing, I was the dad on the sideline. Luckily, the group at that time was pretty mellow, but nowadays you hear parents are getting ejected left and right out of football
Yeah,
games, out of soccer games, parents fighting with parents, and then of course fighting with the refs as always. Hey, bad call, blah blah blah. I feel bad for the kid. Parents are acting worse than them. Like there's been some stories at our football games or one of the local high school football games. It's just like, are you serious? This is stupid. Like it's
kids. Yeah,
insane how these parents are actually becoming. And I'm like, God, I feel for it. When I coached them, then I got a little bit more competitive and a little bit headstrong and just crazy.
yeah.
So that's like, what happened? I flipped a switch. It's like, oh no, I want to win. I want the W, and I can't play. So you're going to give me the W. So this is what you have to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. That is just wild. I don't know.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, moving on, just with some stuff like just figuring out the whole process. I know one of the things you touched on about just with parents, and everything. You said something about your grandparents, or
No,
at
no,
least,
like my
or you just
mom.
had to.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of touching moments here with you have your parents, and it's always fun to see your kids interact with them because they'll get away with stuff that like you flinch. Well, at least I did. Like when my son or daughter, let's say they were about to write on the wall, and I flinched for them. I was like, ooh, like I would remember that was not going to be a good day for me if my mom caught me writing on the wall or not trying to eat my food or stuff like that. But like, man, these kids get away with so much with like their grandparents, um to the point where it's like I look at my own mom and I was just like, what are you doing? Like this is not acceptable in your house, and I know this. And she just goes, it's fine, they're sweet, they don't know what they're doing. But I was like, man, where was this like 30 something years ago? I don't even know you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's even my parents to my dad mostly. He was like had such a weird, like hard discipline structure with myself and my two brothers, and then my youngest brother was like 13 years later, and I observed a difference. I was going, wait, you would have spanked me, you would have like you would have ridden my butt for doing something like that or saying something like that or bringing home a C on a test.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Wait, what?" And then growing up, with the girls, I was glad they kept, kind of the routine that we wanted, but I know when I wasn't there, they were getting away with stuff. And even now when I got family in town, it's just thinking like I'm on pins and needles because like, "What are you doing?" Oh, they're being spoiled, they're being loved, they're having fun, but I'm
Yeah.
going, yeah, but now I'm gonna have to reverse everything that you just taught them because they found it more fun, but it doesn't work when we're getting up at 5:30 in the morning and trying to get ready for school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that and the my mom's been like sneaking them like snacks, like while we're there. Like she'll buy like these little ice creams, like little ice cream cone, like little nuggets, kind of like the end that has like a little bit of vanilla, and she'll give it to them. And I say, okay, they can have one, and so they'll eat it right there, and then all of a sudden, like I hear the fridge open and I see my mom and the two little rugrats are over there, and I can hear her kind of whispering, and she gives each one, and then they run to like the front little, because they have like a little front. I call it my mom's Hall of Fame because it's like all of her kids, like me and my brothers, like all of our graduation stuff is up there. So my my kids would go over there and then they would eat the ice cream just hiding over there. And so they would come out and they just come just covered in chocolate. And I'll say, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" Like, "Nothing." And then they just look at my mom and they just go like this. And then they just walk back to playing. It's like, what do you do? You're just teaching them to lie here. It's like,
We'll touch on that here in a little bit,
yeah.
but
It's like,
gosh,
man.
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just like they're just getting away with this stuff. And, it's, I don't know. It's kind of to, you know, I called it, my mom's Hall of Fame. It was pretty touching just because like when I grew up, just to get a little vulnerable here, like we didn't have like in our family, just kind of people that graduated, college. We had a couple people like in our family that graduated high school, but it wasn't the norm there. And so my son goes in there, and there's a TV in there, so he's kind of watching TV, and my mom goes in, and this is when me and Blake were having a little date afternoon, um, and my mom goes in there and she says, "Yeah, your son was asking, who's that on the wall?" I was like, "Oh, that's your uncle Adrian." It's like, "Oh, that's when he graduated from high school, and that's his college diploma." I was like, "Oh, okay, where'd he go to school?" It's like, "Oh, he went to the such and such school." He sees a picture of my brother. He's like, "Oh, where did he go to school?" Like, "Oh, I went to this school." And "Where's my dad?" He's like, "Oh, your dad's right there." Like, "Oh, he went to such and such school." Um, and so then he looks at my mom and he goes, "Where did you go to school?" And then my mom, I mean, she, she had to work from when she was a child to kind of provide for the family. So she didn't know really what to say. She was kind of like, I, I, it's like I did fifth grade. It's like, that's it. I don't, she's like, really? I was like, it's like, yeah, and she was trying to explain it to him of like, I had to go, work with my family, but
mhm,
there was a little bit of a language barrier there because my mom speaks Spanish. So she was telling me this to kind of talk with him. And, my mom was getting a little emotional. She's like, he's probably thinking that, I can't, I, I'm not as educated and this and that. I said, "Mom," I said, "I think you got it all wrong." I said, "You got to remember when we were young." I said, we didn't ask those questions. There was no pictures on the wall. There was nothing up there. I was like, and now I said, you have, all your boys have been graduated. They're all, fairly successful. I said, so that's a great example for like my brothers and to actually, show my kids that hey, look, this is not this is the expectation. This is the floor. Like there's more that you can accomplish. And I thought it was just kind of a little bit of a sweet moment there of just kind of like, man, we everything that my mom and my dad has put together in life is that's really their little, or my mom's kind of little, trophy
mhm.
trophy room. But like it's her bragging rights and everything. And so yeah, it was just kind of a little surreal of just like, man, like how far we've come, at least in our family, of like, hey, look, this is the progress that we need to be making. It was just kind of touching from that aspect. And explained to my son, and he kind of got it after I had explained it to him. I was like, "Look," I was like, "Your grandparents, they came over here to kind of work and give us an opportunity to be able to do this." And he uh he kind of understood it. He's like, "When my, grandpa was my age, he wasn't in school?" I was like, "No, he was in the, tending the cows or, working the tobacco field." Like he was providing for his family. Man, he's like, "That's a lot of work." I was like, "Yeah, I know." It's a big burden to carry, and to come out on top and be able to, show something with, how great our family's been here. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to kind of see that.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. It it goes to show you how much generations have changed with, everybody nowadays. It's I mean, parents do. You want to provide them with something better than what you previously had. So the parents learn to develop a better work ethic, grit,
Mhm,
desire and drive and motivation, which gets them to obviously the level that whatever they want to achieve to do something better for them and for their family. Your mom's story sounds just like my grandma's story.
mhm,
Same thing. It's just almost like salt of the earth. Just like this is what you do, and it's education through life, not education through a textbook.
mhm,
And that's sometimes even more rewarding. I think my grandma was an Asian Chinese immigrant, came over with my dad when he was an infant, and they lived in the back of a grocery store of a relative for I can't remember. Wasn't super long, but it was long enough that they bunked out in the back office storeroom until she can get a job. Couldn't speak a lick of English. Finally progressed, worked, I think, a handful of different jobs. And then I think the one that I remember her having that I last heard about was like like a bread factory. Like back in
mhm,
the day with Wonder Bread or something like that. She worked like the assembly line or something before it was all automated. And, she pushed my dad to be like, hey, you're Asian born, but you're going to have to make something yourself and we have no money. Right. So
mhm,
my dad worked his butt off through school and he got all the scholarships and everything and put himself through school and got to the success that he was. And then, some of that success has led to, my brothers and I in a different way, but at the same time, you know, we all have our different paths, but,
mhm.
just coming from where she was, it's just like, man, like, there are families that still have to do that now, but a lot of kids these days don't truly understand that, so that's fantastic that your mom and you were able to share that with them, so it'll hopefully be a better experience and better thought process and growth and maturity that he's gonna have a better understanding and
Yeah.
help him succeed and grow.
I'm sure, I mean, that helped you out too as well, just kinda seeing your dad kinda go through that, just I guess him having the understanding of like, "Okay, this is my opportunity to, do something here." I think it does change your kinda mindset of just not taking things for granted a little bit,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, some of the hardest workers in my class are from families that like my grandma, my dad, and your mom, and then carrying it forward, just, they gotta provide, but they're working hard to get education as much as they can, but they're also working hard to provide and learning life, learning it hands-on, and
Mhm.
you can't take that away. I mean, that is
No.
more rewarding, I'm telling you, more rewarding than
Yeah.
anything you're gonna learn in the classroom.
No, yeah, you said it right. It's learning through life, not through a textbook, and, you can't teach some of the things that you've learned from
Mhm,
failing, and that's, I know that's something that y'all had brought up, the last one is I like to I won't say I like to fail. I like to learn a lesson,
mhm,
even if it means failing. And I think I tell that to Marcus all the time. Like if he's playing a game, video game, or he's working with Legos. He's like, man, I can't get it. I was like, well, keep trying. Like you'll figure it out. It's like if you really need help, I'll give you a hint, but you have to try until you can't anymore. Uh, it's good. I mean, I can hear him get all frustrated. He huffs and puffs. I don't know. He's a little Disney Channel kid. He like gives like a huff, like a like I'm mad. I was like, okay, yeah, you don't have to be that exaggerated, dude. Like I understand. Like just jump over Bowser, you'll be fine.
little drama queen, like, "Ah."
He is. Oh man, he. We did real quick. I called him. I don't know why. We were calling each other pee pee pants or poo poo pants, whatever. And I I call him. I was like, "Hey, Mr. Pee pee pants, come here." He's like, "Hey, that's not nice, Dad. That's very rude." It's like you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. It's like, "Okay, you're right. I'm sorry." And then I tell my daughter, I was like, "Hey, poopy pants, come here." She's like, "No, I'm not poopy pants. You're a pee pee pants." And she just walks off. I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "These are completely different kids here." It's just like. One of them is like, "Hey, be nice." The other one's like, "Nah, I'm not a pee pee pants. You're a poopy pants."
And just drops the mic and walks
Yeah,
away.
and just walks off. I was like, "Hey, I'm talking to you here." It's like, "Come back."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's
uh,
funny. I can't even remember what my oldest ones did. It's just it's a blur. It goes by so fast. And Miles is funny. He's getting his little quips and opportunities. And like, it's funny how young they start to figure stuff out and how to, like we say, push our buttons and be silly. And because,
yeah,
they're only going off of our reactions. Of course, we see them say something or do something. Of course, we laugh. And then that gives them a like, ooh, hey, ding, light
yeah,
bulb. It's kind of like, like Miles is into obviously Pixar stuff. It's kind of like Monsters Inc.
hmm
where they scare them and like, oh, we get this much out of it. They learn only this much. But man, you get them to laugh and smile. That reaction is so much greater in response what they do and what you do. And those stick. The laughter components stick. Just you could see it. You get a kid screaming and crying, you get them like all upset, but then it's like another experience is a more of a laughter fun experience. They'll repeat it more often, and learn better from it. Now, there's obviously lines that have to be drawn about, yeah, you can't run with scissors, don't put your hand in the socket, or maybe you let them, I don't know. No, don't let them do that, kids and parents.
no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. uh,
We gotta start putting warning labels on our
yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah.
No
Don't run with
children or
scissors.
animals were harmed during the recording of this. Yeah. Do not try this at home. You remember those old clips in this like on the channel or TV? It's like, do not try this at home.
Yeah, these are trained professionals. So professionals weren't trained. They were probably paid for it, but they weren't trained.
Right. And then you got that, what was it, that dumb MTV show, Ridiculousness or something. I don't know if you ever saw episodes of it. Uh, but guys just parkouring across roofs or
Oh,
guys
yeah.
going down a steep like staircase on a skateboard and totally just smash their balls or smash their head or something. And then you see, and then they're literally just like laying there. And you're like, are they dead or are they just knocked out or what? They break their neck. And I'm like, what the heck? Why are we showing this stuff?
Yeah. No.
It's really bad.
Yeah, shame on people who giggle at that. I mean, I wasn't one of them, but
Gosh, there's silly things like what is it? They do chase the cheese down the hill,
yeah,
something like and they fall, they tumble. And it's like okay, maybe they get banged up a little bit, but that's a little bit different than someone jumping across buildings and canals and
yeah,
doing crazy stuff. Then potentially, like they make a slip, then they're dead.
yeah. One thing, I don't know if this is a good parenting move or not, but like this happened to us a couple times, like especially when we go out to the park with like other families or we're doing a picnic or something. One of our child falls, and we get a from the crowd. I was like, "Nope, everyone be quiet. He's good. He's good." He's like, and I point at him. I was like, "You good?" He's like, "I'm good." And he just keeps walking. It's like he just needs that assurance that nothing happened.
Yes, yeah, like right. It's like even with Miles, we catch ourselves. It's like my mother-in-law and them will get a little more excited about it. Like he kind of tumbled as well, and they're like ready to pick him. I'm like, no, just
Yeah,
he's
he's
not
good.
hurting. You just tell him to get up, brush it off, let's go. And so we're getting into that terrible two. We're in the terrible two stage. So trying to figure out like, okay, no, all right, where's our breaking point? Where's his breaking point? It's kind of like, all right, here we go. Oh man, all right. Kind of just real quick on this part, we talked about like some of our household stuff that you putting your kids to bed. I've talked about getting up in the morning. How does your household like? What's your morning routine, household routine to get out of the house versus like your golf routine? Are you more structured or less structured in one or the other, or which one do you rally?
I mean, obviously the golf routine is super easy because it's just me. I put on my clothes, I grab, my drink or my, supplements for the day, get my bag and I hit the road. But for the house routine, it depends if like I get up early to go to the gym, because if I get up early to go to the gym, then by the time I get back, help get the kids ready to go to school. So start with baby girl first because she needs help getting dressed, and then my son. So I wake him up, is like, hey, get dressed, and then I go over to her. It's like, all right, let's get dressed, put her on, do her hair, and I do like this. I don't know, you had girls, but like I do this like, half-assed little ponytail. And I was like, you look good, sister. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yes.
it's out of your face. And, I don't care to be judged right now. And so we do one of those little numbers. And then by that time, my wife, she's a middle school teacher. So she's like structured, like, hey, TV doesn't come on until everyone has shoes on, everyone has a jacket on, everyone has clothes on. Marcus, you have your snack in your bag, you have your water ready. Like once all that's done, you can turn the TV on. And so there's times where, you know, she's caught him a couple of times where it's like, why is the TV on? Is your snack in? Oh no. And he'll go run and put the snack in and come back. And there's other times where she's like, why is the TV on? This isn't done. And he'll go, yep, water bag is in there and I have my snack and I have my shoes on. And he just lays back. It's just like, it's like you called your bluff. But for that aspect, it's kind of like, get them a little ready. That meanwhile, my wife, she gets all the school bags ready, gets breakfast, and then help put them in the car, and then they're off and running. And that's where I can either, at that point, we're talking, this is like 6:15 at this point, because she drives down to Burleson to to school, and drop off the kids. So it's either at this point, if I haven't gone to the gym, I'll go at that time, and then I'll come back and shower, get ready for work. Or if I already went, then shower, and then I may you know start hitting the road, to see customers and all that. But it's a lot more it's still structured. I guess they're both structured, but it feels like one has way more chaos because it has more variables in it than just kind of me. I don't know, how's
Yeah.
your morning routine there? Because I know you're a teacher as well. So
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this real quick. When you go out for golfing, do you lay out and pre-pick your outfit the night before, or you just grab it in the morning and just like, that looks good, and just put it on?
I'm not Alex. I think Alex does. I'm just gonna call him out because
Yes,
he's not here.
it does.
Um,
I'm
I
calling him
can
out right
see it. Yeah, I'm sure he lays it out, at the edge of the bed. Puts the belt that matches the shoes.
Yes.
Picks whatever shine he wants to put on his little bald head. and and then whatever hat doesn't give him the suntan. No, I do not pick my clothes out. I'll just go in there. I'll pick my shorts. If I kind of know, it's like I'm gonna wear blue shorts tomorrow, and then whatever's with that. No, I don't. I don't lay it out like Alex. He dresses nice. That's the only reason I'm saying anything, is he knows how to dress. So I can just imagine him just getting ready for for a good golf outing.
He does. He definitely dresses the part and he plays the part. But when, uh, when I first learned about that, I'm just like, wait, can't you just go in your closet and just see the shirt and the pants like right there and just
Wait, so he does
go?
actually do that? I was just guessing. I don't know.
No, he literally does pick it and lay it
Oh
out.
shit!
He
Oh, that's
lays it
even
out.
funnier now. Well, he can't defend himself right now, so
Well, that's fine. We'll do this. He lays it out. He puts it on his chair or wherever, like somewhere. And then obviously he keeps his hats somewhere. I don't know if they're in the car, but he also, I mean, he dresses. We've joked about it, so I can say this. Like, he keeps a very simple color palette.
yeah.
grays, blues, and maybe like a purple. Like he has one purple shirt, but it's mostly like grays and blues. And so his scheme is very almost monochromatic in tone. And then I'm on the other side. It's like, what the heck? That looks like fun. I've got shirts that got florals all over it. And I know a little bit about fashion. It's like, ooh, can't put a green pants with like a hot pink shirt or something. Like,
Oh, it could look
I'll
like
just,
an azalea. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I could. I mean, go on the Masters. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. I was just like curious. Yeah. Like, yeah, being a single parent for a number of years, and I've I know what I was like prior to, but when I got things shifted around on my life, it's just I had to start prioritizing. I had to be more disciplined and structured, and that took over just that routine, and then just kind of developed, and then kind of learned a sense of self of like, oh, this actually makes my life easier if I actually keep a structure, keep a routine. Um, and then the girls, gosh, growing up, there was times where, they're teenagers or whatever, but I would go to the gym sometimes and come back, because I go early enough, and I live closer to the gym, and it's like, all right, you know, uh, at the time, I think Shelby was with us now at that time, and I was taking him to school because we're at completely different campuses. And there was a couple times I came back and I'm like, "You guys know this. You have a certain task. So you wake up, you get breakfast routine, and I'm picking up, I'm leaving because you got to get to school." A couple times I showed up and they were in bed. And I was like, "Oh,
Oh.
I lost it." And then it was crazy. And then she ran out, and I felt a little bad afterwards because she got her stuff together. She's crying, and I'm like, I wasn't like mad anymore at that point because I built in buffer, but it's just like, hey, scared him enough to like, hey, you need to get moving. And so they've picked up on that. And so my oldest is very like, she's more structured about, like type A, just taking care of stuff. Peyton was a little bit more like lackadaisical and stuff. She's finally got her stuff together. And I know she doesn't listen to the cast as much. Maddie listens it to all the time. So she'll get a kick out of it. But yeah, household routine, even now with Miles, it's like if I don't keep a certain order and then I kind of get like antsy, it's like, hey, it's like 6:20, like I need to
Mhm.
leave. Like, hey, we need to go. We need to go. And I hate rushing him, but this isn't working. Like we have to leave because traffic gets real bad. And so definitely more process. As far as getting ready for golf, like you said, it's like I just put it together and just go. Make sure I have stuff like my stuff there. Most of my stuff sits in the car anyways, as far as gear. But even when I go play, it's just like, okay, a little more relaxed. But I'm starting to get a bit more structured. I did get out play 9 this weekend just because the range was closed for some reason. I was a little bit more deliberate. It was a good practice round because I'm still swinging things, but I actually struck the ball pretty well. Putting was horrific because I'm changing some things, but it actually occurred to me again, learning through the process. Maybe I need to start being a little bit more purposeful about my golf routine instead of just because I'm in this crossroads of, oh, it was for fun. I could play with people and I don't care if I shoot bad because I know they're gonna maybe mess up somewhere because I'm not really keeping score, but I'm starting to get to a level I want to get to. And just learning through that process, it's maybe I need to get more structured in my golf routine, and that will hopefully pay off a little bit more, which saw glimpses of it throughout the whole 9 holes. So I'm like, maybe this is a new stepping stone, a new process I need to actually start incorporating more. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh man. Um, so white lies, the foot wedge. I haven't had to cover white lies in so long. You're more fresh on the boat on this one, and probably Alex too. So what do you have for white lies that you could
that I could uh that I could bring some wisdom to.
would bring some wisdom to, or when you
Yeah.
get to the ground? And you might spur some memories for me.
Yeah, no. think a lot a lot of them go when, like, they don't wanna do certain things, so it's like, eat your eating your veggies. We kinda tell 'em, "Yeah, you don't want your eyes to go bad, so you gotta eat your greens." It's like, "Oh, those are good for your." "Yeah, yeah, they're good. Just, keep eating them. It's alright." And so we kinda do that one. The I know for one of the ones that, they keep bringing up is, not to get into the holiday season, like, Elf on the Shelf.
Mhm.
I was like, "Man, that's for our house, they just kinda the elf just kinda misses us. We kinda treat him like a like someone else's puppy." It's the same conversation we have with a puppy. It's like, "You know what? We can enjoy their puppy over there. We can enjoy everyone else's elf. The elf does not come here. I don't know why. I'll ask. I'll ask. I'll be, hey, I'll send an email to Mr. Shelf. But right now, we're going to enjoy so and so's elf because he's causing a ruckus over there." So it's little things like that. Man, when I was a little, I don't know why. Like the thing was like, when I was acting, I guess, bad in public, my mom would be like, "You see that man over there? If you don't act right, he's gonna take you." And then so it'd just be me just looking at this man who he has he has no skin in the game here. And I'm just looking at him, I was like, I don't know if you'll take me or not, but I'm not gonna take this chance. And so I'll just, like, all right, I'm gonna be on the straight and narrow. Which I haven't tried that one on my kid. Now that I remember going down memory lane. Yeah. It's like, man, but
Oh gosh,
yeah, it's just like
that's
he just got
funny.
caught in just he got caught with a stray. It's like he might have been a perfectly good man, but now I just labeled him as a kidnapper. It's like, I'm sorry. Oh,
Oh, jeez. See, I don't know. I've kind of blurred the lines of white lies versus sarcasm, so it's kind of hard to like kind of put those
yeah,
together because it's really sarcasm, but it comes out as a lie. But I'm really just being a funny
yeah,
about it.
just
I don't
goofing
know.
around.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't. I mean, Miles. I mean, you can't really convince him. He's only 2, so it's like you really don't know what you're saying to him because he's still not trying to like, it's
Yeah.
too hard. Um, and then when the girls were growing up, the Santa thing, always the holiday thing was always one that always kind of came up, just like, "Hey, make your bed, do this," and it helped with chores and things like that, but, um, yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
stuff.
Well, yeah, first of all, Santa is real.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't believe, you don't receive, is what we say in our house.
Mm.
So that's always one of those things that, yeah, we keep a, tight collar ID on Santa if things start getting a little squirrely there towards the end of the year. But um yeah, that's one of those things where um which I don't like Santa taking all the credit. uh, we talked to the big guy, and um, I said, we need educational stuff, and we need so maybe like books or like puzzles, something to work the mind. So it's always stuff like that. And I told the big fella, I was like, hey, if it's Xbox or Nintendo Switch related, I got that. But because I'm going to take credit for the big stuff, it's like you can help me out with these other items. So it's how we keep them in check over here.
But the problem is Santa is seasonal. So when they know the
He
holidays come
is.
around, they shape up. But then after Christmas, now what? You got 10 months maybe to try to
Oh, it's
keep them in line.
that's where you play the grandma card, okay? Because it's like, I'm gonna tell grandma she's not gonna give you snacks and this and that, and you know, which yeah. So I've done that one before. It's like, man, like we're gonna go over there. It's like, but if you don't clean your room, I don't know if she's not gonna give you any sex or anything. So,
Yeah,
and it's
I think, like I would say, I think one of the biggest ones is just like, "Oh, you don't behave, I won't take you to the toy store," or, "We won't go shopping." Like, those little things always have always came up off and on, with them. But while we're
yeah.
looking at it, I
Mhm.
pulled up, like, just kind of, hey, what are some common popular white lies that parents do tell their kids? Um, they're broken up in different categories. I didn't have time to kind of weed it out, but we pretty much covered all the holiday ones. Santa's watching, Elf on the Shelf. So we've got all those. The Tooth Fairy, of course. You got to be asleep or you won't get that. But here's see if you can get a couple of these. They're food related. So what are some white lies you would tell?
Uh,
Actually, I did one of these to Miles, but it's not really a white lie, but because
does it
he's
have to
not
do with the eating a watermelon seed, and a watermelon will grow inside of you if you eat a watermelon seed?
no, but I've gotten told that one before.
Yeah. I think that's the first one I was like, "Nah, I think y'all are lying."
You did cover one of them. This one says carrots help you see in the dark.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
better vision, which, the
Yeah.
vitamins, all that.
Yeah.
Um, oh, this one I do remember hearing as a kid.
What's it kinda related to?
Gum.
Oh, so if you eat gum, you can't poop.
Almost.
Oh, you'll, blow a bubble out your butt. Is that close?
Actually, that'd be kind of cool. So I don't know if that's a while.
I don't
uh,
know.
I've heard this one. The gum stays in your stomach for 7 years, like it doesn't digest.
Oh my god, that's
I've
even
heard that
worse. Yeah,
one.
you're right. I think I'd probably eat the gum if a bubble did come out,
Um,
but
I've done. Here's one. That's a grown up drink
oh,
because
yep,
you
yep,
don't want to share what you have,
100%. Yeah.
even though you probably could. You just don't want to.
Yeah, no, yeah, we've done that. I've done that, I mean, with energy drinks or, yeah, if I don't wanna share my Coke because
Mhm.
they don't know how to drink. They get all that backwash in there, and it's like a bunch of Cheez-Its and
Yes.
Cheetos, and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
just like, this is
Backwash.
floating. Yeah, it's just floating in there, and it's like like, it's just ruined at this point.
Even through
Yeah.
a straw. Miles is gives up and he's still backwashed through our straw. And I'm just like, but I
Impressive.
paid like $3 for this Coke. So like, I'll still drink it.
Yeah, no, they're just little petri dishes. Yeah, I'll I mean, I love my kids, but, like, if they want some of my drink, I'll pour it in a little cup for them, and I'll give it to them. I was like, "You're not ruining the entire drink for me."
Yeah, we've kind of gone down that road now. It's just like,
Yeah.
no, no, you can't. Okay. There's a few other food ones and there's some more, but let's see. All right. How about some bedtime white lies?
There's no monsters in our house. I've checked. Um, is that one that other people say?
This list doesn't have that one.
Okay. I mean, it's not a lie. It's the truth. I was like, if you go to, like, especially if it's like a Christmas or they're excited to see something, I was like, hey, the quicker you go to sleep, the faster you can wake up, and it's already going to be morning time. Or,
Hmm.
oh, what I do tell them, as soon as the sun goes down, this helps out during the winter. I was like, man, it's night time. Like, it's time to go, and it's like 6:30,
Yeah.
so they just start getting ready.
Yeah. The holiday one that was one of the ones in the holiday one, like,
Uh,
oh, Santa won't come. Um, the hey, you got 5 more minutes because they can't tell time, but it's only been 2 minutes.
that is true. Yeah, I've told
Yeah.
baby girl, "Hey, 5 minutes." And she's like, "Can I have 2 minutes?" I was like, "Sure, go for it." It's like she's just bargaining against herself. It's like, yeah. Or,
She hasn't learned
yeah.
that art yet.
Yeah, she hasn't learned the art, but just like she won, so it's like, whatever,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll let you have it. Yeah,
This
that's
one
a good
is
one. Yeah.
there's one on here that's funny, and I'm just like, when I was growing up, it obviously didn't relate. The Wi-Fi turns off at 8 p.m.
That's something to keep in my back
That didn't
pocket, because yeah, that's that
I mean, you
no.
could shut it down.
You could. Dang, man, those are We're getting some technological white lies here.
All right. Now
Man,
this one
Wi-Fi shuts
we've
off.
used. Mom and dad are going to bed. Not. Like,
Oh,
you're going to bed,
nah.
but you're not, and you're just like, "Hey,
Yeah.
alright, mom and daddy are going to bed." Absolutely not. You're staying up and going to the bedroom and
Yeah.
just watching TV and just relaxing.
I
"Alright,
don't
go to
think
bed."
they've I don't think they figured it out. I think they might have because when Blake's playing Call of Duty down here, like surround sound is going, so you just hear a bunch of gunshots and all that. So I know they probably know that we're just up having a ball. Cause I mean,
That's okay.
yeah, yeah. So we haven't lied to them, but it's just kind of more like they hear the house vibrating. So it's kind of like, okay, they're prestige and they're leveling up. Okay, we get you, mom. Like, yeah, it's funny too. I mean, I guess kids should be seeing this, but like when my wife is playing, like she'll have, Addie, and then she'll sit next to her and she'll say, "You got him, mom. You got him." So it's just like he's just taking down people, and it's just like, "Oh, they got you." It's just like you're just providing unnecessary commentary. I'm sure she don't even know what's going on. I tell Marcus it's laser tag.
That's funny. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Okay, how about this last little bit here, public survival mode. What are some things
Let's
you would say, like, to make your
public
life
survival.
easy? It's pretty much, I guess, as
Yeah,
white lies make your life
yeah,
easier.
yeah. So we do. So we tell them the rules of Target, the rules of Walmart, and I'll catch it on video next time. Like my wife will go, "Is like, what are the rules of Target?" And they all go, "We don't cry." What is the second rule of Target? Sometimes we get something, but not all the time. So they recite those rules every single time, and it's like it's all my
Uh,
wife's doing, and it's like so now whenever I have them and I go to like Home Depot, I try to do it at Home Depot, and I was like, "What are the rules of Home Depot?" They're like, "We don't know." It's like it's the same rules as Target. It's like we don't go here with mom.
we don't know.
We don't know. So it's like, okay. So those are at least that's how we get around it. Uh, so we don't have to tell them anything in the store, or we also tell them if they like start throwing a little fit, because like, hey, we can't check out if you're crying. They don't allow uh, kids that cry in here, or they don't allow kids that cry to check out. So if you want your little candy or whatever, you have to stop crying. And
Mhm.
that's a good one. That one
No, those are
works.
good.
Yeah.
Those are good things to try to teach them. I
Yeah.
know I've used this, and it's not so much like I was gonna buy them stuff, but they would ask, "Can we have this?" or whatever, and, like, they don't know value of money when they're at their whatever stage it was. It's like, you tell them like, "Oh, it's just too much money. Oh, it costs too much. I have
Mm-hmm.
to wait till I get paid again or something. I
Uh-huh.
have to save." And then like, "Oh, okay." You kinda like negotiate in that. Um, but the one that I always find is funny, it's like, "We're almost there."
Yeah. D Well, and then until they start figuring out the GPS, he's like, "Dad, what does it say 7
Yes.
min? Is it miles nautical or" I was like, "No, it's minutes." 'Cause he comes with some, like, I don't even know where he picks up these words. I don't know if it's YouTube or school, but he picks up on some stuff, and, like, I can't like, if I say, "Oh, it's a couple minutes till we get there." It's like, "Dad, it says 20 minutes." I was like, "Oh god." It's like,
Dang it.
I can't yeah. So my son will watch. He was like, "All right, how much we got? All right." And then he'll go take a nap. Like, he is
Oh
very
my gosh.
vigilant now. Uh,
Technology's hurting us.
it
We
is.
can't actually, some of these lies, like this general white lies list, I'm looking at 'em like, some of it just really doesn't pertain anymore because of what you just said or things that are just how life is. Like Miles, we've finally turned him around in his car seat, so now he could see, like, everything,
Yeah.
and he's knowing his colors, he's learning, he's like, "Oh, red, we're stopped." Like, "Yeah, we're stopped." And he's like, "Okay, go, green." It's like, "No, we gotta wait." So now he's, like, tracking and, like, can tell, and then
Oh, yeah.
and he now sees the radio, and he's like he has some sound for it, but he think it's just, like, for music, and he, like, knows, like, pushing it, and he's like, "No, no." I'm like, "Yes, it's your music." "No." It's like, "Dang it." It's like he can't do stuff anymore. He can't get away with it. It's like they
Oh,
see it.
yeah. Oh, no. Speaking of music, the other one, I know the one that I tell is like, he's like, "Oh, dad, that's a bad word." It's like, "Oh, those are mommy and daddy words. You can't say those." That's usually when someone cut me off in traffic or something, and, it's
Yeah,
funny
right.
because yeah. It's like when you're driving, you can do it, but, like, now they, like, egg me on with, like, I don't have road rage, but, like, if they see something and I'm like, "Oh," it's like, you know, effing whatever," and then, I just hear my son in the back is like, "Yeah, learn how to drive." I was like, "You tell him, son."
Oh gosh, I can't that's gonna b
Yeah. Yeah,
like, I've already dropped I mean, I dropped F-bombs or this or that when someone does something dumb and Miles is in the car, and it's like, "Oh gosh." And it's like, I was real bad before my girls, then I know I had to curb it, then they got old enough to where, like, they understand, they know, and then they
yeah.
started driving, it's like, "Oh, I can" brakes are off, and now it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, gotta put the brakes on, emergency brakes on," and it's just like, "Ah, okay." Miles is picking up like, he is picking up now, like, at this age, like, Addie and them, it's like, "S alright, we gotta start watching what we're saying."
Yeah. Oh, they repeat everything. Yeah, I think we were watching Pixels the other night, and I thought it was like a video game. It's PG-13, but, like, they it has some cussing on there, and, one of the actors said the B word, and my wife quickly just goes, some of these words we don't repeat," and I can just hear Addie, like, under her
Mhm.
breath, she just, like, says the B word, and then she just kinda looks at me, and I look at her, I'm like, just don't, and I was just giggling. I mean, I'm giggling like a schoolgirl, and my wife's like, "What happened?" I was like, "I'll tell you later." I was like, "You didn't catch it, but I did." It's like
I it's so hard, like, the laughter, right?
Yeah,
So, like, even at like, Miles has been doing stuff at the dinner table, he'll just do something, and then he'll just give it a stare, or we'll look at you, and just dead stare and just see how you react, and then, like, he's looking at me, and I see Shelby all of a sudden giggling on the other side, and I'm like he stares at her, and she can't hold a straight face as much as I can. She sees it, and then she turns and she starts laughing,
yeah.
and he's just, like, picking up the clues, like,
Yep, just like, yep.
And I'm like, "Come on, you gotta stop.
Yeah,
He's learning this, and he knows it's gonna get a reaction."
yeah.
Oh gosh, kids are fun. They're
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, yeah, those are
Alright.
hopefully you
Do
got
you
a
have
couple
anything
good.
else to add?
No, no, those are I mean, as you were going through them, I was picking up on a couple of them that I had said, but yeah, I think the other ones that I said, like, "Oh, it just doesn't work," or "It ran out of batteries," or "We're out of batteries,"
Mhm.
especially on those toys that are just annoying. It's like,
Yes.
"Oh, yeah, sorry, no battery. We gotta go to the store, get some batteries." If where you mess up is when they remind you that you're at the store. It's like, "Dad, we gotta get batteries. It's a toy that I
It's
asked
like,
you for." It's
"Oh."
like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah, that's yeah, those are the," and now I've caught my son kinda telling Addie because he wants to play by himself, like Nintendo Switch or whatever, and he'll just give her a control that's like not connected, which we used to do that with my brothers all the time. Like we'll just pretend to connect it, like the cable one, but now
Mhm.
it's like is one remote or one controller that doesn't have battery. And he'll just give it to her so she can press away and nothing happens. And so he's just playing his own little game, and it's like, yep, yeah, good job, Addie. Yep, yeah. So he's just being a big brother at that point.
I know, like, my oldest did it to my youngest or middle child, just the manipulation
Yeah.
and just but it's like, where'd they pick it up from? It's like, did they learn it from us manipulating them, or is it from school, or is it both? They're just figuring like, "Wait a minute, dad said this, but he's doing something else."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, that's going backwards."
Yeah. Or yeah, he'll do the one of the like if I tell him, "Hey, y'all can watch TV, but y'all have to agree." And he goes, "Addie, you want to watch SpongeBob, right?" And she goes, "Yeah." So I love
Sure.
SpongeBob. Yeah, that sounds great.
Man,
Yeah.
I gotta start trying some simple white lies with Miles to see if it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So he starts understanding, like, he loves Lightning McQueen watching Cars and be like, Lightning's real tired. Can we watch something
Yeah.
else?"
That's a
And he'll
good
be
one.
all, "No."
Yeah,
Ah.
no, just rewind it, Dad. Like he's not gonna
Mhm.
race.
No, and he's just like, and then he'll take the remote and start fits like, "See?" Like, oh, man, we'll see how this all develops in the next 6 months and plus.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be interesting for you. I was just kind of thinking about it because you already went through that first stage. Now you're, your girls are grown now, and now it's like, you know, it's like Rocky 2. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a new because you're now, you raised your kids, back earlier with not that much technology, but now everything is technology. So everything I guess that you were doing, it's I don't know. I'm interested.
It's a
Now
new
I'm not
world.
yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like we're not proponents of, like, the phone technology or the tablet,
Mhm.
with Miles, especially at this age. Some of my friends and other people I know that they 2-year-old sitting there and looking at their phone, and we're like, "No, we're not doing that," but, he sees us on it, and then we let him look at it. He knows that, stuff will happen if he touches it, but we really now it's like, crap, he's already kinda getting exposed to it, and then the other problem is, everybody wants to call FaceTime video.
Yep.
Well, it's the phone, and he sees
Yeah.
the phone. He sees if he pushes the phone, it does stuff, and
Yep.
that it's like, that's getting hard to try to, like, limit technology and do that, and it's tough, and I know doctors and them talk about screen time, and again, we've beat this thing down a couple episodes now, but I just don't believe TV is the same as the iPad or
Yeah.
the phones because you can't touch the TV and get the same results. It's just they're playing, and, um, I feel like they will sit and focus. It's weird. It's like if it's a TV movie, they're sitting and focusing
Yeah.
better at what's happening versus focusing on the screen and controlling the different
Yep.
components. So, um, that's my opinion. I know there's probably people that hate me for that, or doctors are like, "No, they shouldn't be on that much screen time." Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Sometimes we gotta put them in front of the TV because we gotta get stuff done.
Yep. You know what's funny? So usually they know like, oh, I go on Amazon Prime or Netflix, whatever, like they'll watch whatever show. Well, like on the Samsung TVs, there's like it has their own channels that like
Mhm.
Pluto TV, whatever, like channel pops up and they watch in the morning SpongeBob most of the time because it's already on that channel. And uh my son asked me, he's like, "Dad, what's that?" They stopped playing SpongeBob and they're talking about toys. I said, "Son, that is a commercial." He's like, "Commercial?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "I want to watch SpongeBob." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, but Blake were talking about it. I was like, yeah, when it's commercial time, that's usually when we go take a potty break and then we come back and then we can watch SpongeBob. But like commercials were a whole new thing for them. They're like, what is this interruption in my show? It's like, are we poor? What is this going? What is this going on?
You need to pay for the extra $2 a
Yeah,
month for ad
yeah.
free.
But it's just like, I don't know. That like blew my mind. I was like, man, y'all literally have no idea of commercials. Like, man,
No.
it's a
Recording an
new world.
episode, playing it back, what is that?
Yeah.
When we had the DVRs and all of those
Or
things.
the other one that was like they go to the restroom, and then Addie goes, "Can you pause it?" And I was like, "Man, like when I was little, that was not even a thing you said. Like you can't even do that." Like
Oh,
even on the
no.
VCR, like it was just kind of like, man, like
Yeah.
it's a whole new world.
I'm just thinking back, like, even just in college when Friends came out and was becoming a big phenomenon, and there was commercials. You had to sit there. You had to catch it on Thursday nights at
Yeah.
7:30 or 8 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd miss it and you wouldn't know what
Yep.
happened at
Yep.
all.
Yep.
So the viewership and everything was always so much greater back then because you were forced to sit there and watch the television. And then, yeah, either you hold it for 30 minutes or you go to the restroom for 30 seconds or minute ad and then you come back.
Yeah, like, the last show I remember that, like, how you said, like, "Alright, at 8 o'clock, it's gonna come on." I think it was Breaking Bad, and that was, like, 2000
Early 2000s? I think so, yeah.
and so, that was the last show that I remember, like, okay, it comes on Sunday nights at 8 or Sunday nights at 9. So, I remember getting on AMC and, like, trying to watch because I knew I was gonna be behind if I didn't. Because this was before the whole
Mhm.
streaming and everything, and so, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
different.
It was nice, like, in 2000, you could record it, and then all of a sudden you could say, "Oh, there's a commercial." Fast forward, goes
Yeah,
through it,
yeah.
and next, and then streaming services came on, and then there were no ads in streaming services because it wasn't big enough yet. They weren't sure if it was gonna take off, and then you can get on with, "Oh, no ads. The episodes are now on." And you just shoot through it, uh, and all of a sudden, it's like your 30-minute episode that you remember is now only, like, 22 minutes, and you're just like, "Whoa, these are shorter."
Yeah.
What happened? An hour episode is actually only 40? I was like, "What?"
Yup.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
we know the story. Ads keep coming in. "Oh, buy ad-free for an extra 10 bucks a month," or "Stick with it," and it's just like, "Come on." It just starts now becoming
Yeah.
a price war.
Yeah. Changing times. Wow.
Oh, man, that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I
Oh
think we held down the
gosh.
fort here pretty good,
Yeah,
without
I think
Alex
so. I
being
think
and
Alex will enjoy this one.
yeah, he never, I mean, let's just pretend that his mic wasn't working and he was gonna enjoy it anyway, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
His internet would just crash, and then he would
Yeah.
be logged out and sign back on somewhere else in his house, and so he's gonna be in his closet actually plugged into directly to the router just so he can get connection. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. No, it'll be good.
Alright.
Hopefully, he makes it through and, hopefully you have a good rest of your week there. Um, it's gonna
Yeah,
be a good one.
you too. Alright. Well, thank you for listening, guys. As always, you can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. And, subscribe if you like. If you got any comments or questions, something for us to talk about, please just drop us a comment. Instagram, TikTok as well. All right. Anything else last minute?
Nope. Peace.
Cool. All right. Have a good night.
You too.